Did 2025 drag you through the mud like it did me?
Have you also been in moments of immense gratitude, reflecting on the closing of the year?
Are you ready to finally say goodbye to this year?
Because I am. You have now joined the education evolution. You are listening to Unscripted. This is a podcast for the thinkers, the doers, and for those who know that the most important learning isn't always done in school.
I'm Mr. Jihad.
And I am Lindsay, affectionately known as Miss Black.
And this episode is no real notes, no real prep, just real talk with your hosts, Lindsay and Hady. I don't know if y'all have ever played sports, and in the fourth quarter is the time that you give your all, you give your best. You may have sat on the bench, you may have been in the starting five, but we ain't getting into that. But I'm in the fourth quarter of this year, and I have nothing more to give. Nothing. It's really trying to take me out. So I just have one quick question for us all to kick us off today, Linz.
Okay.
At what point in December specifically, or even the fourth quarter, at what point are you ready to just say, okay, let's go ahead and throw this year away? Is it December 15th? Is it December 13th? Is it November 25th, right when we get to Thanksgiving? What is it for you?
So for this year, it was actually an hour ago when I realized that a 2-hour training had been put on my work calendar for tomorrow. So that's for me personally. Because I'm seeing it's hard because you be on social media and this is also why I take January off so I can make sure I'm starting the year with my own thoughts, because some of the thoughts, a lot of thoughts we be having is not our own thoughts. It's just shit that we've seen multiple times. So
Yeah.
multiple times on social media, people are joking about like, oh, let's circle back to next year. And there's this corporate something, some white woman, she hilarious as shit. She had a video, it was like people asking her like, hey, can we meet about this? And she's like, yeah, what time? And then she would disappear. And so I'm like, am I really just ready for us to be in holiday mode at work, or is it because of social media? But no, I just think, sure, it's a great time for training because we align with the school year, but also it's not a great time for training. But for me, I do solid core, as you know, and the
Yes.
Solid Days Challenge happens like 2 weeks before Christmas, I guess, every year. So the purpose of it is to do this, like, give back to yourself, turn into your body, and like do some work on you during the time where you're thinking about it going into the new year. But this is really a slump time of year where like people just stuffing their faces, getting drunk, this like out of root workout routines. Like it's traveling like for reasonable reasons, but the Solid Days Challenge kind of like combats that. So it's been a different feel to not actually be able to answer your question, number one.
I love it.
It's a different feel this year where I don't have a date where it's like, oh, I'm done with the year. But I also think part of that is because I was unemployed for most of the year. And so I've only really gotten to a like normal flow in the last 2 months.
And that's fair. And I think that something that inspired me by what you said when we were talking probably a couple weeks ago, you were saying how you were going to kick your year off December 1. And I appreciated that because I think that we oftentimes get into this mode in which January 1 has to be like this. Well, let's jump in. Let's get the high energy.
Everybody at the gym in the way. Yeah.
Oh, God, yes. I'm not looking forward to that. I may actually have to like switch my routine for a month just so that I cannot be involved in that. But I also go to the gym super early. I don't know if I told you this, but like lately I've been at the gym between like 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. So like up at 3 something.
That's crazy. 4 a.m. And you know what's crazy? Because I do be seeing your text messages. I'm like, it's 4 a.m. there. That's so odd.
Yeah. It's just, it works. And so I don't feel like people are going to be at the gym at that time. So maybe I don't have
I
anything to
assure
worry
you,
about.
no one will be there.
Oh my God. No, but so the reason why I was asking this question though is because Linz knows there's been a lot going on. I would say in both of our lives recently, but I think that November was the time in which I was like, all right, let's throw it away. Like,
Please.
I think I was high spirits, good. I was great. And then boom, it was just like two things back. Actually, it was three things back to back. It was three personal losses that really shifted me energy wise. And I think that, I just have to shout out my community, my village, all of my people, especially you, Linz, for showing up for me the way in which y'all did, because whoa, like there's just a certain type of way that you want to be held and supported
Yeah.
and comforted. And I didn't know what that needed to feel like until these things happened. And so
Mm,
like I just was extremely just like taken aback and just and felt all the feels. I'll try my best to be present with all the emotions and just want to say thank you. Woo, tearing up a little bit. Um, but just want to say thank you because it just felt so good. And it just goes to show that like I always say that my friends are my family, and I mean that.
yep.
And the
Yep.
reason being that the way that you all know how to show up for me,
Yeah.
words can't even explain or express the way that I appreciate it. So that's the reason why I was just like, yeah, I'm just curious to know, like, what is that? At what point in the
Yeah.
year are people just kind of ready to just throw it away? Because some people it might even be Q1. Like, let's wrap it up. Let's throw
For
away the
real.
key because
We
there's
gonna
just been
see
so
that.
much going on in 2025. So we're gonna have to ask that question. We're gonna have to ask that
We will
question.
circle back to that. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So switching gears a little bit, I would love to go ahead and we won't get to the recap of the episodes, but before we get there, I need to remind our fellow folks that we are shooting for 400 subscribers,
Woo.
400 by the end of this month. And the reason why I'm doing a 4 so that just in case you see on one of the last episodes that I put, you might see the caption says 500. No, the caption says 400, but
Captain says 400.
my mouth
Says
says
500.
5.
Station. That's what we call that.
Exactly. Speaking it into existence. So please help us get there by the end of this month. We would greatly appreciate it. So send it to a friend, share it to a friend. We ain't even asking out for
Yes.
money this year. We are just asking you to share
We
this
not.
and get people to subscribe to the episode. But to our channel on YouTube. So please, please, please make sure that happens.
Please. We're not asking y'all for money.
Said, look, that's coming next.
That's coming next, but not right now, not right now. So we're gonna just quickly recap the episodes in case, you only listen to the unscripted episodes. You're missing some good content. Okay. We've made them shorter, but the information is just jam-packed in there. So Hall Pass to the Real World was at the top of this month. So this is our current event episode. If you listen, you already know this. So I was talking about TikTok trends, but really mainly the 6-7 TikTok trend and how it started in February and it is still being verbalized in schools today. How do I know? Because I was actually on a middle school campus the other day for like 2 hours and it was lunchtime. And I think I was in the hallway and then some little boy walked by the front desk ladies and he was just like, 6-7. No context, no conversation. That's just what came up to his head just to say, you know?
Wow. And the thing is, the only reason why I found out about it is because I know that In and Out retired the 6-7 number. They
That's what my
retired the
mom
number
just said it.
67.
That's what my mom just said.
Yeah. And so, like, you will no longer call the number 67 because of the craze that was happening in the restaurants
Like,
throughout the
how
state of
bad is that?
a
How
whole
bad is
chain. Like,
that?
that's insane.
And it's just the power of social media. I'm telling you
Yeah.
the power of social media. But I want what I and let me not get on my high horse because maybe I need to say this for episode. It's the power of social media, but it's the power of the people at the end of the day. And I think a lot
Mm,
of people feel like their voice doesn't matter or like this is just so small we need something like humongous astronomical to push and make a difference. No, this man just had a song that says 6-7. Somebody else who does video for the NBA decided to put that song over it because niggas in the NBA is 6-7. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what happened and then it just went on and on and on. So like just don't think that you don't have any power in your words because in and out is deleting the number 67. Like what? Oh my gosh. Okay,
yeah.
into the second episode of the series for this month, Lifelong Learning. And this is the episode where we just acknowledge that, come on, learning is lifelong. We're not just learning in school anymore. And I just went through 6 silent game changers for me in 2025. And I won't say all of them because you need to go back to the episode and actually listen. But these Egyptian cotton sheets I got in this duvet on this bed, baby, wow.
Game
The
changer.
sleep, the sleep is so good. The sleep is so good. And I was gonna get into another silent game changer that I talked about, but I'm actually gonna talk about it more towards the end of here. But since you're here, I do have a bonus one I didn't get to say. So
Ooh.
there's this app called Song Shift. Now, let's say, well, I'll give you a real life example. I'm a Spotify girly now. Okay. Apple Music, I'm done with you for like the last 3 months, y'all. But
Whoa. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to shut my mouth.
I don't know why I was on there so long.
Get you to come over to the other side. I've been telling you for a minute, but
You know I'm slow. You know I'm not even slow. I'm resistant. You know I'm resistant. I'm so resistant. But it doesn't like when you look at the difference, it doesn't actually make sense how stark it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Like, because Spotify is a social media platform for music, and Apple Music is whatever the hell they're saying it is. Now, because I had playlists on Apple Music
Mm,
that I didn't necessarily want to use, I found an app called Song Shift that transfers the playlist from Apple to Spotify to whatever music platforms. You can go any direction. And so I've been able to transfer some of my playlists to Spotify. That is a silent game changer because I don't have to do all that work from doing it one to one. So go ahead and listen to the episode too,
that's a major game changer that I didn't
isn't
even.
it?
I feel like I've heard something about that before, or I may have thought about it,
Mhm,
but didn't find the
mhm.
time to say, let me create it so I can be monetizing it. Damn it. Okay. Well,
Missed
it's all right.
opportunity.
It's all right. It's okay. I'll just open up the Harriets. Um, so all
Here we
right.
go.
So the last section that we have is the amazing tech evolution. And if you know anything about this segment, it's essentially just trying to keep you up to date with all the inner workings of technology. Sometimes it'll have some education spins on it. Sometimes it won't. It'll just be trying to educate you about the different
Correct.
technology things that are happening in our society. And this time it does have to do with education. And I think it is very important for you to go back and listen to that episode. And so I'm gonna
Mhm,
give you a little tidbit. Essentially, FAFSA is shifting, y'all. They're changing the way that students get access to information, and they're putting warning labels. I'm not gonna go too far in depth about why they're putting warning labels, but you want to go listen to it because it can help you about teach you what you need to know about which programs that you're applying to and
mhm,
which programs you should not apply to. And the bottom line that I want everybody to know is that it's about giving students and parents more clarity, giving you the space and the resources so that you can ask better questions and make
mhm.
more informed decisions about should you take on this student debt? Because we all know that Jihad has student debt. Okay.
But not Lindsay though. Just wanted to name
Woo!
that.
Go ahead.
Bow, bow, bow. Yeah, I did listen to the episode, obviously, because I do the editing, and I just thought it was very informative. It is very informative stuff that is going to matter. People like to play the comparison game of like what our experience with things were when we were in school and what the current experience is. So, give y'all something else to talk about
Mm,
before,
that's it.
and we're gonna jump into our reflective moment. We're going to have some reflection time and thinking about things we learned and we want to take out of 2025 and things that we are looking forward to in 2026. And I think it's really common for people to just immediately jump into what did I accomplish in 2025? And
Mm.
the very like standard, what were the good things that happened that multiplied into other good things? But we're gonna put a little spin on that, and we're actually going to share wins that didn't look like wins at first. Yeah, yeah, and I want y'all to take a second just to think about a win that didn't look like a win. A win. See, look at me making up letters at the end of words. Lord.
The gag is that so on my episode, and I need to spell it out, but on my episode, I have a little funny thing. But do y'all know that I feel like Black people, we create our own acronyms?
For
And
sure.
so I definitely, I'm like, wait, hold on, let me make sure. It's FAFSA. So like, that's what I wanted to make sure that people know. Federal Free Application for Federal Student Aid. There we go. And so
Hmm,
just throwing that out there so that
never
we're
knew
not
that.
creating our own new acronym with that. But yeah,
Yes, I actually clipped that. I clipped that piece because I'm like, damn, I do say FAFSA,
FAFSA.
not
Yeah.
yeah, FAFSA, not FAFSA. 'Cause you gotta move your mouth differently to do that. Oh my god, it's so annoying. Okay, a win that didn't look like a win at first, and I actually talked about this on my own personal Instagram the other day, and it got raving reviews. A friend
Ooh.
breakup. Friend
Ooh.
breakups. They be wins that didn't look like a win at first. Like, obviously, when you've known a person for over a decade and you've poured into that person, and the separation was not mutual or amicable. But really, because I had no intent on being amicable. So uh, it's just a release of stress. And also like a personal growth area, release of my savior complex that I have sometimes. Like I can just remember from the beginning of time, I feel like I've always had a friend that I've like taken care of to a certain extent, on a spectrum. And it's not that they asked me to do it. Like I want to make that clear. Like I just do stuff. It's not things people are asking me to do, whatever. Although I don't think that you should need your friend. You ain't gotta ask me to do nothing. That's the thing. When I care, you don't gotta ask me to do nothing. It is what I do. But when the energy is like not being reciprocated, cool, 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 cool. You know, everybody goes through like ups and downs. But like when people can't take accountability for their impact and blame other things or like, I trying to resolve a conflict. I'm trying to address a conflict and then resolve it. If we're just going to be only defensive at 2025 in our 30s, it's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
But it's actually been pretty great because all the energy that I was pouring in to said person or said people,
Mm.
uh, I had to ask myself, like, well, what does my life look like when I pour all of that energy back into me? What do I have time to actually do? And so it's been great to lean into multiplying things with the energy that I now have in my reserve because I'm not giving it out to really ungrateful ass people
Yeah.
and ungrateful in terms of how you respond with your actions.
Is something that needs to be studied. And I say that so intentionally because I do believe that we're just in a space in which I think that we are incentivized based off of ease in this environment that we're in present day with social
Oh my
media and just all the different
God. Oh my
things.
God. Yes.
And so we don't believe that we have to put efforts into anything, whether it's a relationship that you have with a significant other or a platonic friendship.
Look
And
like that meme.
But it's just like, come on, y'all. We got to show up for each other in this environment in which all we doing, a lot of folks is doom scrolling and spending a lot of time putting energy on eyes onto content. But no, put energy and time into your friends, nurture your friendships, nurture your family.
Just do
I think
it.
that
Pick up your
you also
phone.
bring me back to the fact that you were talking about Thanksgiving on Unscripted on the Thanksgiving episode. You're speaking to the fact that we don't know the recipes anymore.
Yeah.
Recipes happen based off of conversations. Like you
Yep.
over in the kitchen talking to grandma, you over in the kitchen talking to moms,
Yeah.
aunties. So
Yeah.
and it doesn't necessarily need to be bloodline family, but find the people who are doing the things and let's do that. I just think that we need to do a better job of nurturing each other because that is just not something that we do as often.
Which is so confusing because it's the same. It's shit everybody begging for. It's
Mm,
shit everybody begging for. Oh, I wish I had more friends like this. Or I wish I had somebody
mm,
that would send me this on my birthday. Oh, you do that? That is so kind that you do that. Yeah, but ain't nobody, all the stuff y'all naming is not stuff that you don't have access to or you're not able to do.
mm,
Like it is a privilege to be sound in the mind to even have these thoughts and to know that
yeah.
they're possible. And you're not exercising that privilege.
Hmm,
Come on. It's just the putting the effort forth is not that hard, but you do risk rejection, you risk being vulnerable and all that stuff when building community. And I think that people just are not, they just, like you said, they want things to be easy and they want things to feel comfortable and they want things to like be exactly what you imagine it to be.
yeah.
Like, me and Taylor were just talking the other day and we were talking about like wanting something and desiring something. And we have a limited perception of what it can look like. God is the only one with all of the examples of what it could look like. And as we go older, like think about, everybody's has a long list of things they want in a relationship, right? They have some people are writing out the list. Some people are like, some things are just unreasonable. It's usually a dissertation or a monologue. But when you talk to people that have been married for decades, what kept you guys together? Not going to sleep upset. Oh, what's your favorite thing about her? She's really kind. I love her. It just gets simple and simpler because you have to eliminate your ego. As we grow older, if you're doing it right, you
Yes.
should be chipping away at your ego. And then once you strip everything, it's just the core of what actually matters in the middle. I don't even know how I got here, but I know that was
Oh, I
good.
love it. I love it because you giving free therapy sessions and people don't even know. So
They
y'all just
don't
need
even
to go ahead
know.
and listen to this episode. Y'all go. Yeah.
That's it. That's the point. The point is listening to the damn episodes.
No, but you're speaking to want and desire and nurturing friendships. And I think that it is
Thank
so
you.
true. I think that that's really, we're in that space now of trying to be intentional about what those wants are as friends, what those desires are as friends, and how do we meet those expectations. And before we move on, the one thing I want to say about that is it doesn't have to cost money, right? Like reciprocation looks differently based off of who's doing it. we're
Yep.
not saying that the friendship doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be pouring thousands of dollars. It could be quality time. It could be you write
Shit.
a letter to them. It could be you send a cute text message. It could be a postcard in the mail. There are so many
Literally.
possibilities that you can, in so many ways you can be intentional and inside and outside of relationships. And so
Bro,
that's what
since
we're
you
calling
said
out.
that, I
Please.
literally picked up this card the other day, and she won't see this. She won't see this yet. And the inside it says, "Our sisterhood is a." I can't read. Okay, our sisterhood is a precious and cherished gift. I am gonna be at Taylor's house for a day. Me and my mom are gonna spend time with her and her parents. And I just picked up the card. I'm like, I'm just gonna write in the card and give it to my bitch. You
Mm,
know, that's just very, but it's very simple. It's very
yeah.
simple, but it goes a long way. And I don't know why people are not doing the simple stuff. The ones
Talk
begging for
about it.
community.
Mm, talk about it. Woo! You talking
Okay.
that talk today. Okay.
Yes.
Get me in my bag. I'm like heavily in my emotions today.
Yes. Love it.
So switching gears a little bit when it comes to like wins that didn't feel like wins for me this year, I'd really have to say, and I told Lindsay this all the time, I feel like I've been in a perpetual state of being laid off. And
And you have.
I don't know, it's kind of like a PTSD kind of like trauma bond.
Yeah.
It's very interesting of like how I've gotten into this space, but being forced to kind of reset the role that I was in and
Hmm.
also being in a space in which not really knowing what the timeline was going to look like and wanting to be all in at my job, right? Like I love being here, but the environment isn't the best. And not knowing whether or not I was going to have a job the next day is insane.
For months.
So, right. And so this is the first time that I can say that I'm now in a position in which I feel comfortable and there's still a little bit of unease
Yeah, yeah,
around
yeah.
like all of what's happening, but I just think that that's just where we're at country and the labor market. And I talked about that a little bit on that episode too. So go listen to that. But all that's to say, I just think that sometimes this level, the uncertainty and unease that you may feel coming out on the other end, there's going to be that clearer scope, that kind of stronger influence that you may have over your role and healthier boundaries just across
Yeah.
every aspect of not only the things that I'm doing at my job, but the things that I'm doing outside of it as well. And it's just, it feels good to be here, even in the midst of all the other kind of fourth quarter things that I was telling y'all at the beginning of this episode.
That is really big. I wanna note that for everybody because like, a lot of people are in a space where they're like, "Oh my god, am I getting laid off? Am I not getting laid off?" But you have been in there for longer than all these people. Sorry. Sorry, y'all.
So real. So true.
It's true. You, like, made it past it. It's just been just to be in Lou is just anxiety inducing all the time and, like, trying to some people are like, "Well, don't focus on plan A. You shouldn't have time for plan B because you're so focused on plan A." But then you also, like, need to have a plan B, but you don't
Yeah.
really wanna leave your job, but, like,
Right.
if I have to and you've done so much to get to the position that you're in the company that you're at. So then to
Yeah.
have it like, "Hey, hey, come
Right.
get it." Yeah, but it's not that's why I'm glad that you're able to say that I feel significantly more comfortable and secure now because that's important.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about it.
Good, my friend. You ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Jahai, what are you leaving in 2025? You taking this job with you, but what are you leaving?
Exactly, and it's kind of a building on to it, and I hate for the cop out,
Great.
but it's the worry and the uncertainty.
Mm,
I think that there were some elements, some things that people were trying to tell me when I was in that space, and I think that I'm now in a space in which I can receive it, and it's just like, if I can't control and I can't change it, there's no point in putting energy into that. I have now been trying to like repurpose that energy into the things that I can control. So like if we're in an environment in which there's not a lot of work getting done and you're knocking out the task, I can go on a walk. I can go work out. Like there are things that I can
mm,
do that are
mhm.
within the locus of control that are going to actually make me feel better. And sitting and perseverating on the things that I cannot change is not going to get me to that space. So just that like mindset of like perpetually putting myself even more down and more just
Yeah.
anxious and not really feeling as if I can create the change. Cause I love switching things up. I love being I love
and
making and
control.
creating impact. Yeah, and yeah, I love
Yeah.
control.
Yeah. We love it. It's
So
predictable.
yeah,
But it is hard to like it's hard to release control. The end.
yeah,
I'm just
literally.
gonna I'm gonna second that and stamp it. And I know people who are listening and watching will absolutely agree. But I think it also I kind of related back to the monologue I had 10 minutes ago, but talking about like a limit chipping away at the ego and then the core of what it is that you actually wanted. Like
Mhm,
there is a
mhm,
job at the top of this year I wanted so bad. I still want the shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. But when I think about my overall trajectory in my career, like that job wasn't going to be a determining factor, you know?
mhm,
Like because I know that I want these core things in 3 years and 5 years and 10 years. And so what the path or the vision looks like for me getting there might look different than what I initially wanted. But
yeah.
I'm like standing here 10 months later, like, oh no, like I'm still on the path of what I think is going to be successful over time.
Hmm. And I just gotta shout you out that on that, and the reason why is that I feel as if I'm in the space now in which I'm still trying to figure out like what is my dream career, and I'm not saying that that's what you were saying that that role is for
Yeah.
you, but like the fact that you've kind of put the steps in place of where you want to get to, what you want to be. And I feel like we always talk about what you want to be when you grow up, and I feel like I'm still trying to define that on a daily basis and trying to figure out what are the steps that I'm going to need to take to get there because the whole
Hmm.
go to be a lawyer, go to be a doctor, I feel like it's a lot more rigid and defined. We in the wild wild west and in the space
Right.
in which we're trying to figure out what the workforce is even gonna look like. So shout out to you.
My thing that I'm leaving in 2025 is multitasking
Mm,
and multitasking in a way that is overstimulating. So
mm,
I sometimes feel like my baseline is overstimulation. So like when I sit down and I'm watching a show or a movie, I have an urge to pick up my phone and be scrolling as I'm watching the movie or be playing a game as I'm watching a movie. And I'm like, ew, why is that my default? Like, why do I feel like I need to be doing multiple things during something that should be restful, essentially? And so I want to stop doing that. That I think is going to be a game changer for me and like my focus and stuff. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. It's been hard. Even last night. I'm like, dang, I really just want to grab my phone. Why? Why?
it's definitely not just you. And I actually saw something on social media recently, funny enough, where this guy recorded himself and he intentionally spent an hour. I don't know if it's once every week or once every other week, but not doing anything with a phone or technology and just sitting with himself. And it was born out of exactly what you're talking about, like
Yeah.
this fighting this urge to feel like you have to do something on your phone or just do something in general. And I'm like, that's probably I'm connected to other stuff. It's probably the reason why I get bored cleaning up the house. And that's just certain things in which I don't want to do. I have an automatic
Yeah.
aversion to probably because I want to sit down and be on my phone. So yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
I feel you.
Or like I'll jump from task to task, which I don't think
Mm,
is fully bad. I don't think that's fully bad, but I could never just clean the whole house in one sitting.
no.
I know people who do that, no,
Yes.
I have to do a little bit of this and then do
Yes.
this and then go into this other room and do that. And eventually over time, it all gets done how I want it. But like there might be 20 persons on the ground right here in my room right now, hypothetically. Because I'm waiting for my purse hangers to come in. Okay, well I do that, but like why did it take me so long to order the purse hangers? Like
Right.
those types of things and like moving around, but like knowing what to streamline, but also know when multitasking is a more effective use of my time.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate
I feel
growing up.
you. It's so hard. It's so many different things that you have to think about. And then money.
See, I didn't even bring that up.
Okay, so things that we're going to be taking into 2026. Lens, what you thinking? What you thinking about bringing in?
Okay, so back to what you were saying about when I said that I started the year. Wait, I treated December 1 like it was January 1. New
Yeah,
routines and resources. Okay. So for example, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning on Mondays now. Holla. And it's not
go ahead,
4 a.m.
girl.
And it won't be. But I wake up at 5:30 so I can go to solid core at 6. So I'm like intentionally habit stacking. I'm not just gonna wake up at 5:30 and like do anything. I have to wake up at
Yeah.
5:30 and be have the adrenaline in me to know that I need to get somewhere by 6 a.m. and I have a 50-minute class I have to get into. So then from there, now to get more steps in, I always do this like 20-minute, 15, 20-minute walk around the block of solid core. And then after that, the coffee shop that I really like opens at 7 a.m. and is down the street. So I go there and I might get a caffeinated drink, which I don't usually do, but I'm a stimulant type of girl. The caffeine, they got a creme brulee latte. Oh my God, it's so good. And I'm like happy. Like I'm high energy, but I'm also like happy. And that's when
Yeah.
I do all of my work that is outside of my 9 to 5. So like
Mhm.
all the editing, any planning that I wanna do, because now I realize it's relieving the stress of me trying to do it during work hours. Sometimes that's stressing me out, like, and during the day
Yeah.
and before people are
Yeah.
awake, bothering me. So that's gonna stay there. And then I also, when I was helping Jihad with something, had to teach myself Excel or how to use it. And so I've been using Excel more often, and now I'm at a stage where I'm like, this would have been really good if I put it in Excel spreadsheet because I would have been able to like filter this way or show
Mm.
this percentage of me. This I did it this many times. I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to get it.
Go ahead, girl. Never cease to amaze me because I always be looking at Excel and Excel be looking at me, and I'm like, get somebody else to do it, okay?
It's so cool what it can. But you know, the other piece too, I will say that like using ChatGPT to help me learn Excel is very helpful.
Yes, that I do. So, and let me be crystal clear. What I mean by that is like I will use Excel, and I enjoy like learning and knowing the formulas. And I also came from a space in which, so I used to work at the Legal Services Corporation in Georgetown, and there was a colleague there who taught herself all she needed to know about Excel and then SQL, SQL or something like that. And she was trying to teach me, and I was like,
Yep.
honey, don't even waste your time. Like, I
Don't,
appreciate the fact that you see something in
don't.
me, but I don't see it in myself right now. So please,
Like, please give it up, delicious. You look like a man.
exactly. And so I could do the Chat GPT assisted Excel, but I trying to teach myself it's been very
Mm-mm.
have not been successful.
Mm-mm. No thanks. But those are my things. What are you taking into 2026?
Yeah, I keep doing this. I keep setting myself up for the next one. It was
It's
not
all
intentional, I
connected. It's
promise.
okay. There's a through
It
line here.
is. Yeah, career alignment. I think that this year I was very much so in let me study for this exam and get
Mhm.
this certification. And also, I did a lot of exploring different folks who I wanted to like sponsor me and like mentor me. And just, I feel like I do a lot of that for others, but trying to find people who are in
Yeah.
like senior level leadership that
Yeah.
identify the same way as I do, it's been tricky. It's been challenging. I'm like, okay, I know it exists. Like, how do I get it? And I did that this year and I was very proud of myself. But now I'm like, okay, these people are giving me great advice. What do you do next? So I'm trying to think
Mhm.
about ways that I can come up with a plan that isn't like, okay, Jahai, you need to do all of these things that they told you within the next 3 months, but what is one certification that I can do over the course of
Yeah.
the next 2 years and
Yeah.
time it
Yeah.
out
Yeah. Yeah.
properly. So that's one of the bigger things that I'm trying to focus on going into the next year is like, what does career alignment look like? What does it mean to me? What is that? How am I intentional with my career alignment as opposed to just being like, oh, okay, you've done this, let's go to the next step or just stay where you're at.
Yeah.
And do I want to climb the ladder? Like that's the other question that you have to ask yourself in this world today is like, do you like what you're doing now or do you want to be promoted? So that's the big one that I feel like I would hit on.
And do you want to be promoted as an individual? I'm putting
Mm,
an I'm re-saying your question, but even more emphasis because not does society say you should do this, not
mm,
is your best friend doing this. Does climbing the ladder actually suit you? Are you capable of managing people? If not, you have no business
yes.
trying to be somebody's manager. Cut that out.
Come on. Say that.
That needs to be said. We have too many people that were just good at their individual contributor job.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
now people are like, you know what, you can be a manager, but you don't know how to talk to people. and you always
Mm,
go into HR trying to put somebody on a PIP, but you don't
mm,
even know how to give them sound advice to be better. You have no resources or tools or knowledge,
yeah.
but you're a manager. Yeah.
And
Not my manager,
meanwhile,
though. Let me make that clear.
okay.
Not my manager.
And likewise, my manager is also amazing. And I think that you hit on something that I always take us back to, regardless of what season or show or whatever we're talking about. That it's crazy that teachers make what they make when you have managers in the profession making what they're making. And the reason why I'm trying to bring this parallel, let me bring it up for the folks who don't know. The amount of things that teachers have to do are the skills that managers should have. Like the teachers are forced to learn these things. Like, you have to know this to be able to teach a child. And the same types of skills should be used in the workforce. And I'd argue that's the reason as to why we're going to be a lot more dependent on artificial intelligence, is because in the workforce, we have never learned how to properly
Mm,
manage people. And I think that instead of
yeah.
us investing in that, we are trying to do away with that and find a way for robots or AI to take over that. And so
Yeah.
it's one of those
Good luck.
things.
And good luck
Right.
with that. Yeah. You think teachers actually manage people every day?
Hmm.
Manage people who do not have developed frontal lobes. So like all those complaints about, your coworkers or the person who's under you, and they have decades of life under their belt. Think about trying to manage 38-year-olds.
Mm.
Right. Anyways, you know how I feel about paying these teachers what the hell they deserve and giving them
You
what
and me
they
both.
need. Give them what
You and
they
me both.
need. That's what I was telling my mom um yesterday, that like, I'm not in the business of selling things to school districts because I want I didn't create any of these products, let's be very clear. Like, I believe in
Yeah.
these products, and of course, like, it benefits me if someone chooses my product, but at the end of the day, I'm in here so that teachers can get the tools that they need that align with them. I don't need
Hmm.
to while I would love to, I don't need to take over the entire market if my product is not what's best for the 6th and 7th graders at your school. If my overall mission is that all kids have what they need in order to learn, then they need what they need in order to actually learn. So,
And that's good though. And the reason why I'm also calling that out is just thinking about the disparities across the education system as a whole, thinking about teachers who are in districts that do have the means to pay for curriculum versus districts that maybe a little bit more disenfranchised and don't have the means to
yep,
pay for the new curriculum. They're not getting the new next shiniest thing. And so teachers still have to figure that out, right? Like there
you have to
isn't
still figure it
anybody
out.
that's going to be like, oh, okay, like y'all get a pass. Like they are still
Right.
using the things that they have to get these kids to where they need to be. And so
Mhm.
it's just yet again, another shout out to educators. That's all.
Shout out to the educators. And we're going to close out with one question we are taking into 2026. Okay. Because I think sometimes going into the new year feels like a relief, like, oh my God, we made it. But it's like, what question is going to guide me in the next year? And I don't think I've ever done this as a practice. But the one question I would like to guide me in 2026 is, how good could life really get? Like,
Mm.
that's what I want to be thinking about. Like all these goals, like, yeah, I have this new routine. I want to stop multitasking as much. Like, how good could life really get if I were able to master these things? How good could life really get as I like continue to intentionally expand and invest in my community or go to the gym at 4 a.m.? Like, how good could it get if I make these shifts? And so that's what's gonna anchor me in 2026.
Look, I think that we're heading on the same kind of a note, except for, mine's a little bit more like me.
You.
How is this helping me with my definition of success? And I put my definition because I think that we are living in
Mhm.
a time right now where everybody is trying to catch up to the next person. What is jihad woman? And what I
They need
mean
to
by
catch
that
up to
is,
Jihad.
okay. And what I mean by that is, if 2026 is the year for me to buy a house, then it's the year for me to buy a house. If I don't feel like buying, and if I don't feel
Yeah.
like it's going to be what I'm looking to achieve, then that's
Yep.
cool too. If it looks like me saving $1,000, like whatever that thing may be for you, if it's time for you to be committing to your 4K, commit to that. If that's going to
Yeah.
be how you define your success. But I feel like we are walking through life and not really knowing what what your definition of success even is.
Mhm.
And that's the reason why you don't feel as confident about the steps that you're taking. You are in your own race. Stay in your own race. Don't be trying to sit here and compare yourself to the next person. We are all coming from different walks of lives and different resources. And so like you made it here too. You made it to today. You made it to this day, and like take advantage of it. So that
I
that is
will.
where I'm at. Please.
And you know what? And that was a mic drop moment because that was just perfect to really close this out. We are so grateful for the people that really have been on the bandwagon with us since the Reformers Pipeline, but for really for the people that have re-engaged with us during the education evolution. We're truly grateful for all of your listen, all of your shares, your likes, your comments, like all those things mean things in the algorithm. Okay, like every little thing. So we're just elated to be able to finish the year strong, based on, especially with all the energy that we put in to do this rebrand and to come back after years of being gone. So really grateful for everybody. We hope that you have taken something of value and worth from this episode that you feel like you can take into the new year and apply seamlessly.
We love y'all.
Bye.